So this is my 2002 Saturn Vue. And it's been a good car, but I've had a few problems with it. Factory problems that I had to fix, and I'm going to take you through those. And the first one is relating to the sunroof. Do you have a Saturn Vue or a Chevy Equinox or any of the similar GM vehicles that have a sunroof? And are you having electrical problems? Finding water down on the passenger side floorboard? Well, it's a common issue with these cars, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to clear the two drain tubes for the sunroof. So the sunroof has a channel that goes all the way around it. And what the channel does is the channel drains away the water that gets down behind the seal of the sunroof, because as the car ages, the sunroof seal does not provide 100% seal like it used to. Which is okay as long as the drain tubes can pull the water away. So as soon as the drain tubes are plugged up and they can't pull the water away, then you get water coming over the seal and draining down into the floorboard of the car, which I'm sure you're familiar with if you have one of these. So let's open up the sunroof. And I'm going to show you how to clear those drains. Down in the corner, right here, it's hard to see because of this piece, but right down I can feel it with my finger. It's right there. Okay, my middle finger is actually on that hole right there. I can feel the hole. There's one on this side and there's one on the other side. That little hole has to drain the water away from this channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some canned air and get the tube down into that hole. Now I had to use two hands to get that in there, but blast it with air. The other end of the tube is down behind the front tire. Do that on both sides. Here on the other side, you got to feel around with your fingers and make sure that the tube is down in the hole. Go ahead and blast it, because pine needles and debris and everything else will clog that up over time. And that should take care of the leaks. Okay, so now you've cleared out the vents to keep water from coming down in the future. Now we're going to deal with the damage from the water that's already leaked down there. So, right up here on the driver's side, underneath this panel, there's a huge 30-pin connector. And this 30-pin connector connects the computer for the car dash to the computer on the engine. And when the water comes down from the sunroof, it gets right into that connector and causes all kinds of problems. Whether you have a Saturn or an Equinox or any of these GM vehicles that have a sunroof are likely to have this problem after a few years. So fortunately, the panel's very easy to get to. So we take a large screwdriver and we just pry up the panel. Just like this. And there's the connector right there. See it? This plastic piece, just flip it down like so, and this will pull right out. So this is what we're going to use: some alcohol, some deoxy, and a toothbrush. And the first thing is to go in there and clean any corrosion off those connectors with the alcohol, being very careful not to bend or damage the connectors. So they're reasonably rugged, but you know, as long as you're in there with a toothbrush, you'll be just fine. So as I said before, this connector connects what's called the body control module, which is a computer for the body of the car, with the engine control module. So as water enters this connector, because of the way the factory designed it, and starts to corrode the connectors, it starts causing all kinds of weird electrical problems within the car. In my car, what it would do was the transmission would stop shifting automatically, and I had to shift it manually. So that was my problem that I had to fix. But because of the randomness of the electrical connectors and the water entering the connector, it can be any number of electrical problems can be traced back to water on this connector right here. So when you clean it up first with isopropyl alcohol, get it nice and clean, get all the corrosion out, and then clean it with the deoxy. And then once it's all clean, you can put it back together, and it's going to fix a lot of the electrical problems you have with your car. Just push it back together and snap that bail back up. And this piece goes back in. There it is. This is my 2002 Saturn Vue V6 cold air intake that I designed. It puts the air cleaner in front of that firewall, so you get cold air from outside the engine bay. One smooth 90 degree and right into the intake manifold.